Um, I don't really know what the purpose of this video is. I just felt the need to do something right now. You could probably tell already what I'm gonna title this video because I already have an idea of what I'm gonna make it about. But it's just like going along with that theme. It's like, what intro do you put behind that? When you're at a place when you feel like you were at the bottom, despite the efforts and what people may perceive as talent or potential. It's like at the end of the day, you're still the same person. I still have to wake up every day knowing that I am who I am. I'm in the situation I'm in. And, like if you're up to date with my channel, then you might know, like, yes, I put my faith in Jesus. So my point in bringing that up is, like, I can trust God for anything. I can keep my faith in God saying, oh, it'll work out in this area or this situation will be all right. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter because it's whatever God is saying. Yes, this will come to pass. It's whatever God is saying. This is where you need to be at. It's whatever God is saying. This is my will for how these people ought to live. And I can't change that. You can't change that. No amount of potential that I have within myself or that I can mentor through somebody else can change what God has put the verdict on, what God has stamped and sealed. And I do believe there are some things God has stamped and sealed, and I believe there are some things that are according to our obedience and our faith and our cooperation with the Lord. But I don't think God would ever be stopped, and I don't know, that's just part of where I'm at now is, I'm definitely not at rock bottom. I've been in worse situations in my life. I've been in worse predicaments and circumstances, and like I say, they come to pass. God sees you through, especially when you remain faithful and loving to Him, right? But at the same time, I can't act like, not even like, oh, this is where I wanted to be. There's nothing necessarily wrong in my life. It's just from my own perspective, I can't see anything right. And that's where you get the lack of motivation, the lack of persistence and consistency, where it's like, I'm doing many things. I have my hands in a lot of different activities and works, hoping that these things work out. Even if I do put my all into them while I'm there, I'm, going the extra mile. Even if I'm not there and I'm still going the extra mile, I'm still trying to figure out how to get little details in and so forth. But it's like when you don't see that come into pass, when you don't see the fruition of what you're truly searching for, it starts to, I don't want to say crumble, but you start to crumble, you know. But I think that's the point of God letting us hit these rock bottom times and these low motivation times. Like me, I know for a fact, yeah, I'll say a fact. Even like I'm not diagnosed, so don't like try to. I'm not gonna say don't try to take it seriously, but it just if you're one of those people that's like, oh, it has to be literally and medically backed and all that. But like, I know for a fact that I'm not gonna say struggle. I have the conditions of autism and ADHD, and I learned this maybe a year ago. And to just continue to be in these cyclic patterns of like repetition of these symptoms is still like detrimental to my mental health, to my social being, to my, you know what I mean? My want to isolate. Like I want to isolate so bad. I just want to be alone sometimes. Sometimes not even necessarily to think more clearly or to get something done or to take a break so that when I get back I'll be in a better shape. Just like everything is just not too much, just too not real. I was about to say too real, but no. everything is too not real. Everything is too just fake. Everything is just too fabricated, is what it feels like. Everything is just too copy paste, algorithm based. Everything is just a dopamine hit. Everything is just not what we think it is. You know what I mean? I may eat some food that I thought, okay, this is healthy, but oh no, the government already tampered with it. Or I may eat something and build a lifestyle around that, thinking, okay, now I have a healthy lifestyle, but that's only because it's giving me the dopamine for a moment. Like, and then it's like when you no longer having hope of doing better in certain areas, it's like you lose that motivation a little bit. You lose that edge to be like, yo, I'm on this every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it just gets hard because it's like, well, you no longer have that the motivation. You no longer have a reason. You no longer have a determining factor or a drive factor. But you know you can't give up. And part of me just feels like God is showing me like this is where true champions are made. You know what I mean? David wasn't standing in front of Goliath, right? David is a little, let's say like a little 5'6" kid. Goliath is a 9 foot big man monster basically. And even then, like, of course he didn't have any motivation to go fight him. Like, look, you know what I'm saying? The Bible's a spiritual book, but just because of that doesn't take away from the physical characteristics of who those humans in the Bible really were. Because even though David, they call him the man after God's heart. But even still, you know, I'm sure he was afraid to go against Goliath. I'm sure he felt good when he took one of his soldiers' wives. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he, you know what I'm saying, lived a life just like you and I do. He's a human being. God made us all human beings. You know what I mean? And we're just like anybody or anything. You know what I mean? We're just like the animals. We're just like the plants. You know what I mean? The more sunlight and water and fresh air you get, yeah, the better produce you'll be able to bring forth. But like, what do you do when, I don't even know, it's not even like the environment is stale, but it's like it is. It's like, what do you do when you're stuck in that environment that's giving you only just so much light, so much water, and only sometimes cycling through some fresh air? Now you're like living for crumbs. Like, oh, I hope maybe today's sunlight hits a little bit better than yesterday's sunlight. I hope today's water is just a little bit more alkaline than yesterday's water. And it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you're scratching for crumbs at that point, and that's not the, not even like that's not the style of life that I want to live. Like, that's not a way for anybody to live. Nobody survives and thrives off of crumbs. We're not here just to survive, and that's just what the upsetting part is. I mean, I'm still young. Like, last year I took a gap year. This year I guess I took another gap year. So like I'm only 2 years out of high school, and I'm just seeing a lot of things that typically could occur in life. That, you know, the typical things that most likely every person has to go through. But it's like when you lose the dedication, not the dedication, when you lose the determination, it's like, do you still have dedication? When you no longer have a motivation to say, oh yes, I'm on this every day. Oh yes, I'm encouraged to go do this all the time. When you no longer have that motivation that says, oh, this is what I'm getting up for, are you still disciplined? Are you still dedicated? Right? You may be wanting to be like I used to, I was like frail in like middle school, high, like, you know what I'm saying, as a kid. I graduated, I started working out a bit more, you know what I mean? I started to see the actual, you know what I'm saying? I started to see the physical results of that. But then as it comes from that, then I started to make goals and idealization, not idolizations, but idealizations, which is essentially like the same thing though. Because I'm saying, oh, this is the ideal situation, but I'm not saying, oh, is this the situation God has for me? Is this the situation God wanted me to be in? And so I start to idealize, like, oh, I'm trying to be 6 foot, some 185, pure muscle, eating good, chicken, broccoli, you know what I'm saying, fish, fruits and vegetables, nothing else besides that. I'm trying to go on jogs, and every day I'm improving, every day I'm lifting heavier, every day And it's like, yeah, great, you can have all that, but are you going to be able to keep it? Are you going to be able to maintain that? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it really comes down to. I could have the determination to get there. I could have the determination and the motivation that says, you know what, 185, I want to get there. I'm going to be Aki. Nobody can touch me. I'm going to get better at every sport. I could have the dedication, or not, I could have the determination to say, oh, I'm determined to do that. But that's the motivation. Do I have the dedication to stay disciplined and to say, okay, this isn't going how I wanted to, but I'm still on this plan. I'm still going for this goal. I'm still on this melody, even though it's not sounding as I wanted it to, right? Like if you make music, you might be like, okay, I'm gonna bust out a song today. Like I like in high school, I was making songs on Band Um, I was making songs on BandLab, and like sometimes like word, it would take like one day to make a song, and like they weren't great. Like they were spoof songs basically, because it was like fake gangster rap. It was like fake drill music, because I was like only dissing my friends. I don't have no ops. I'm not in the street trying to get, you know what I'm saying, busy with nobody. I'm not trying to cause no trouble really. I'm just trying to find a way to do something that's better than what I'm doing. I'm trying to find a way to do something that's of better quality than the life I actually live.